Long before European ships crossed the Atlantic, indigenous peoples thrived in the lands we now call Canada. For thousands of years they lived in harmony with nature. They were skilled hunters, fishers and gatherers. Vast and diverse, the land was home to many distinct First Nations groups. Each had its own unique culture, language and traditions. In the east, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy, formed a powerful alliance. They were known for their sophisticated political systems and longhouses. On the west coast, the Haida people were renowned for their towering totem poles and seafaring skills. The Inuit people of the Arctic adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth. They hunted seals and whales, relying on their knowledge of the land and ice. These First Nations communities developed complex social structures and governance systems. They possessed rich oral traditions, passing down knowledge, stories, and beliefs through generations. Their deep spiritual connection to the land formed the foundation of their way of life. The arrival of Europeans would forever alter the course of their history. The late 15th century marked a turning point. European explorers, driven by the search for new trade routes and riches, reached the shores of North America. John Cabot, an Italian explorer sailing for England, arrived in 1497. He claimed the land he encountered for King Henry VII. The French explorer Jacques Cartier followed in Cabot's footsteps. He made 3 voyages to the New World in the 1530s and 1540s, exploring the St. Lawrence River region. Cartier's expeditions laid the groundwork for French claims to Canada. They also marked the beginning of significant interaction between Europeans and indigenous peoples. These early encounters were complex. Trade became a cornerstone of the relationship. Europeans sought furs, particularly beaver pelts, which were highly prized in Europe. Indigenous peoples traded furs for European goods, such as metal tools, weapons and cloth. However, these exchanges were not always equal. Cultural misunderstandings and the pursuit of profit sometimes led to conflict and mistrust. As the fur trade flourished, both France and England established permanent settlements in North America. Samuel de Champlain, a French explorer and cartographer, founded Quebec City in 1608. This marked the beginning of New France, a vast territory stretching from the St. Lawrence River Valley to the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, the English established colonies along the Atlantic coast. The founding of Jamestown in 1607 and Plymouth in 1620 marked the beginnings of English colonial presence in what would become the United States. As both French and English colonies expanded, their interests inevitably clashed. The 17th and 18th centuries witnessed a series of conflicts between France and England, both in Europe and North America. These wars, known as the French and Indian Wars in the colonies, had a profound impact on the future of Canada. The struggle for control of the fur trade and strategic territories resulted in shifting alliances between European powers and indigenous nations. The year 1759 proved to be a pivotal moment in Canadian history. The British, under the command of General James Wolfe, defeated the French forces led by the Marquis de Montcalm on the Plains of Abraham, just outside Quebec City. This decisive battle marked the end of French rule in Canada. The Treaty of Paris in 1763 officially ceded New France to Great Britain. After the British conquest, Canada faced the challenge of forging a new identity. The British government passed the Quebec Act in 1774. This act granted certain rights and freedoms to the French-speaking Catholic population of Quebec. It aimed to preserve French language and culture while integrating Quebec into the British Empire. However, the desire for greater autonomy continued to grow. In the mid-19th century, political leaders in British North America recognized the need for a united front. They faced pressure from the United States and sought to strengthen their position on the continent. After years of negotiations and debate, the Fathers of Confederation achieved a historic agreement. On July 1st, 1867, the Dominion of Canada was born.